Well, the forum was to celebrate the 60th anniversary of the Army Reserves in Europe and the support to the European theater that we've had through those 60 years. What we wanted to do was look at what it was like in the past, see what we're doing right now, and then focus on the future. And what kind of structure do we need in the future to be relevant, to be ready, and to provide assets that the USARA commander and the 21st TSC commander would need into the future. And through that, and through this discussion with former commanders, some senior leaders, with our staff and with our soldiers, we have a plan of growing the unit by approximately 159 soldiers. That will involve us getting a regional support group, a CSSB, which is basically a combat support battalion. Also, we'll be adding 2 movement control teams and a history det.
When there's a new unit being built, there's a lot of leadership opportunities. So, the commander all the way down to the private walks into a unit, and you've got to start somewhere, right? So it's kind of like you start out on a clean slate, and it really gives those young leaders an opportunity to learn how to build a unit, how a unit works, how it's supposed to work.
The 406 Human Resources Company is actually transferring to CONUS, okay? And so we have unit members that are forward stationed right now, and what we want to make sure that they understand is they're going to have a home with the 7th and one of this other structure. The 406 actually will transfer over to CONUS, but at the same time we want to make sure that every one of those members understands that they have a position at the 7th MSC because we're growing our structure. It's a great opportunity for us to add to our senior leader staff. As we get a regional support group, it involves having an 06 full colonel commander. The CSSB will add an 05 command. With those commands comes the full complement of staff that goes along with it. Those MOSs that we will obtain are personnel, human resources obviously, then ordnance, transportation, and quartermaster. In addition to that, we'll have a few intelligence officers and things like that that are added. So it'll open up the complement of capability, it'll open up the complement of people that we need, so it'll be a very positive thing for the outcome of the unit.
We'll send them to school. We'll give them that training in that first year that they join our ranks. Now, being a reserve command and relatively small, we have a very high rank structure. So many times a sergeant can come in from the active component and find themselves in the sergeant first class, so E5 to E7 within 3 to 4 years, assuming that they reclass or go to the right MOS, but there's a lot of upward mobility typically in the Army Reserves.
One of the 5 pillars that Lieutenant General Hodges always speaks of is Army Reserve and National Guard and the support that they provide, and it's a very critical support. Approximately 80% of sustainment forces are in the National Guard and Army Reserve, and us being a forward stationed unit at the 7th and having these capabilities that we currently have, in addition to the capabilities that we are adding, really make us relevant, viable options for the demand signal that we have here in Europe as we try to build a strong Europe and we move from assurance to deterrence. You've heard a lot about the 3-4, the 3rd Brigade of the 4th Infantry coming in. We provided capabilities for a forward command post for that operation. In addition to that, one thing that's happening this summer is Sabre Guardian 17. Obviously, will provide a lot of capability to help USARA and help the 21st TSC manage mission command of that operation. On an ongoing basis, we're supporting AFRICOM through our civil affairs teams and through some of our movement control teams. The 793rd Movement Control Team, which is a 21-person team, is currently mobilized in Romania in support of Atlantic Resolve. They provide movement control for a large area of operation, and they support operations that come in and out of Romania and Bulgaria, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, and Poland. In Dynamic Front, we provided capabilities through our digital liaison detachments. Both the 209th and the 25th 100 provided personnel. Those personnel are critical in providing the commander with a common operational picture. Actually, the British general there stated that without the digital liaison detachments, it would have been very difficult for him to conduct this exercise. So our involvement there was very well noted and very well appreciated. And it was just another example of how we can provide for a strong Europe. We actually have a complement of 2 different types of soldiers, and then we also have a complement of civilian employees. We also have a lot of people here, since we've been here for a long period of time, that understand the language, the culture. It gives us a distinct advantage as a unit stationed in Europe to have such a bountiful asset of our people there, whether it be AGR, whether it be TPU, or whether it be a civilian government employee.
So being here in Europe, these junior leaders can experience what really is dubbed as a leadership lab. So going to these exercises, going on these missions to foreign countries, and being out there on their own, on the forward edge and expected to perform. And many times a buck sergeant is doing the job that a sergeant first class or even a captain or a major would be expected to do.
For example, we have E7s in a country that may be dealing with the military department or may be dealing with an ambassador to make sure that the United States military or some of our allies may be able to transit through those areas. So they're empowered with a lot of capability, but they're also empowered in learning skill sets that'll benefit them in their careers for a long time. As we change the structure of the 7th MSC and add these additional units, we're going to have to recruit. And as we recruit, we look for recruiting new soldiers, but additionally, we get a lot of our soldiers from the active component. As they begin to look for other opportunities, they may work in the economy. And as they do that, the Army Reserve is a great opportunity for them to continue to retain a lot of benefits that you get as a service member. In addition to that, they're able to keep that touch point with and provide service to their country.
Soldiers are excited to be part of the organization, and I ask them why. And the reason why is, I think for the most part, it's a welcoming environment. The command climate is good. That's always good to have. But we're involved in a lot of exercises and real-world missions, and that's quite frankly what soldiers want to do. They don't want to go to a reserve center and do administrative paperwork. They want to go drive their vehicles. They want to shoot their weapons. They want to go be part of an exercise such as Sabre Guardian, and that's what really gives them the job satisfaction.
What I've found is there are a tremendous level of capability in the full-time staff, the civilians, the soldiers that are here. They have a lot of experience. They've done many operations. It's very expeditionary here, and it's a great, enthusiastic environment. And I think it's one of the things where we had this 60th anniversary to look at what had we done in the past, what were we doing now, but what are we doing in the future, because it's about building the unit for the future, and it's about building the unit that will exist in the next 10 years. And part of that involves us getting a theater movement control element after we get the RSG and the CSSB. It also involves us looking at what other assets, whether it may be a signal company or what else that we may need into the future. But it's a It's a measure of growth. It's a great opportunity for the Army Reserve. It's a great opportunity for USERA to have some assets from the Army Reserve that are forward stationed, immediately available, and ready to use.